I didn't say a word when they started laughing. Not when the joke landed. And definitely not when the whole room exploded with it. I just held my glass. The cool crystal a stark contrast to the heat rising in my chest. I watched my wife laugh. The hardest. The entire ballroom smelled like expensive champagne and old money. You know the type of place crystal chandeliers, dripping light, pristine white linen on every table. It was the kind of room where everyone pretends they earned their seat, when most just inherited it. Her co-worker, a slick guy with more confidence than sense, leaned back in his chair, a smug smirk plastered on his face. He raised his voice, making sure everyone at the table could hear. "So, tell me," he boomed, looking straight at me. "What's it really like being a loser, living off your wife?" And then came the laughter. Not just polite chuckles, but real, gut-wrenching laughter. The kind that echoes. And then my wife joined in. That sound, her laughter mixed with theirs, did something to me. It wasn't anger. It wasn't even rage. It was clarity. A cold, sharp, and undeniable clarity. I stood up slowly. I took a moment to smooth the front of my jacket. A deliberate, calm motion. My eyes found the CEO, sitting at the head of the table, enjoying the show. I looked straight at him and said, my voice steady and clear, "You've got 24 hours to enjoy that title, because this loser owns the company." Silence. The kind of silence that's so thick it feels like it's suffocating you. The laughter died instantly, replaced by a wave of confusion and shock. But that wasn't the moment everything ended. That moment came later. Let me take you back 15 years. I built a tech company from absolutely nothing. Just an idea and a relentless drive. I worked day and night, poured my entire soul into it. Eventually, I sold a part of it for a life-changing amount of money and merged the rest into a larger, dying corporation that needed my tech to survive. Here's the key part. I kept the majority stake. I stayed invisible by design. A silent partner pulling strings from the shadows. I never wanted the applause or the spotlight. All I ever wanted was peace. My wife knew I'd done well once, as she liked to put it. She just didn't know how well. I never corrected her. I let her believe whatever version of the story made her comfortable. But over the years, that comfort slowly, insidiously, turned into contempt. I stopped being her partner in her eyes. I became her accessory, a prop she could bring to fancy dinners. At these events, I was introduced with a dismissive wave of her hand. "Oh, this is my husband. He's retired. Or he's between projects." My personal favorite was, "He's very supportive." Each phrase was a tiny cut, a small erosion of my identity. At home, the respect that once existed quietly evaporated. And on that night, at that dinner under the glare of those chandeliers, it died a very public death. After dropping that bombshell, I turned and walked out of the ballroom. I didn't wait for apologies. I didn't look back to see their faces. Ihust walked. She chased me into the grand lobby, her heels clicking angrily on the marble floor. "What did you just do?" she demanded, her voice a furious whisper. "You just humiliated me in front of everyone." I stopped and looked at her then. Really asterisk. Looked at her. And in that moment, I realized something terrifying. She wasn't embarrassed that they had mocked me. She was embarrassed that they had found out I mattered, that the man they called a loser was actually the one in power. That's when the final piece clicked into place. That's when I said the words that would change everything. "This marriage ends tonight." She laughed. A short, disbelieving sound. She thought I was bluffing, making a dramatic scene. I wasn't. By morning, my lawyers had already made their moves. My ownership was officially confirmed to the board. The CEO, the one who had chuckled along with the joke, was gone by sunset, and that smirking co-worker who called me a loser. He was escorted out of the building by security before he'd even finished his morning coffee. And my wife? She came home that night expecting an apology from me, expecting me to beg for her forgiveness. Instead, she found a set of divorce papers waiting for her on the kitchen counter. Then came the tears, the apologies, the frantic claims that she never meant it, that it was just a joke. But the hard Truth that no one ever wants to hear. Intent doesn't erase disrespect. Your intention doesn't change the impact of your actions. I didn't leave her because she laughed at a joke. I left because she laughed comfortably. The laughter came twisily. It showed me that in her heart, she agreed with them, that the narrative of me being a failure was one she had accepted and maybe even cultivated. 3 months later, I stood on that same stage, in the same ballroom, under the same crystal chandeliers. But the energy was completely different. I wasn't someone's supportive husband anymore. I was the owner. When I spoke, they applauded. When primera post, they listened. They watched their words carefully around me. Power has a sound. And more often than not, it's quiet. It's the absence of disrespect. My ex-wife was there that night, sitting near the back. She wasn't wearing her emerald green dress. She wasn't laughing. There was just silence, and in a strange way, that felt like the right ending to our story. Here's the lesson I learned through all of this. Love without respect is just a slow, painful humiliation. Your silence teaches people how you expect to be treated. If you never speak up, you're silently agreeing to their terms. And sometimes, walking away is a sign of weakness. It's the ultimate act of choosing your own dignity over someone else's comfort. It's reclaiming your own power. So let me ask you a question. If someone you loved, someone you shared your life with, laughed while others were humiliating you, would you stay silent? Or would you walk away and reclaim your life? Let me know in the comments below. Stand up, walk away. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, because stories like this aren't really about revenge. They're about remembering who you are, what you're worth, and never, ever letting anyone make you forget it. Thanks for watching.